여러분 안녕하세요. Welcome to Korean Grammar Warehouse. If you were in Korea this week, you would know that Monday was a holiday. Why was it a holiday? Because it was a public holiday and it's annual on October 9th. So last Monday was designated as an alternative holiday for it. Then why is it a holiday? It's Hangul Day. Korean people celebrate the day in a meaningful. Hangul means Korean alphabets. Do you know who created your native language letters? Perhaps no one knows that. This is because the only language that is clearly known about who first created the letters of the language that people use in that country is Korean. In other words, Korean letters are the only letters that the inventor exists. The Korean alphabets are called Hangul. It's named after the first letters of Korean language and the letters. Han from 한국어, Korean language, and 글 from 글자 letters. Then, who made Hangul? It's the very great King Sejong. King Sejong lived in 15th century. You can see the statue of King Sejong at Gwanghwamun Square now, and also his face is seen on the 10,000 won of Korean bill. Korea was a country named Joseon at that time. During the Joseon dynasty, there were 27 kings in total. This order lists the 27 kings' names of the Joseon dynasty in chronological order, and King Sejong was the fourth king among them. Sejong is treated as the greatest king of all the kings in history that have ever led Korea because he had achieved many things, such as 치국이, rain gauge, 해시계, sundial, 혼천이, armillary sphere, Hangul, Korean letters, and other things. Above all, he was a king who cared about the nationals sincerely. At that time, Koreans were using Chinese characters because we had no letters to write. But the way Chinese and Korean spoke were so different that it took a long time for Koreans to learn Chinese characters. And there were many illiterates for that reason. King Sejong, who felt sorry for the people who were illiterate and had a hard time working, decided to make our own letters that fit Korean well. There were also some people behind King Sejong's creation of Hangul. It took about 3 years for Hangul to be made, and the book that explained the basic principles of the creation of Hangul is called 훈민정음. There is a slight difference between Hangul used at that time and Hangul used by Koreans today. Some of the letters are not used anymore. The reason is that over time, the letters gradually changed to an easier way to be used. The first part of this explanation of Hangul in 훈민정음 can be understood like 나라 말이 중국과 달라, which means the language of the country is different from that of China. This part tells the background of why King Sejong created Hangul. The letters are mixed with Chinese characters in this explanation. Then I will briefly introduce the contents of 훈민정음 based on the current style. First of all, Hangul is divided into consonants and vowels. There are a total of 19 consonants, including the double ones, and 21 vowels. The vowels are shaped after the sky, earth, and person, three of the main components of the world. It consists of a sun-like point in the sky, a horizontal line that resembles the flat ground, and a vertical line that resembles a standing person. So, when they combine one another, you get the vowels. The dot does not exist alone, but always sticks to a line to form a vowel. It can go this way. The important point here is that when a dot is attached to a line, the position varies depending on the type of the line. You use up and down spaces when sticking to horizontal lines, and left and right spaces when sticking to vertical lines. The top and the right are called yang, positive, and the bottom and left are called negative. These can be the important criteria for determining the type of conjugation, even when words and words are combined. Also, the dot may not stick. One can stick, or two, and two are the maximum number. Therefore, the basic vowel types are as follows. Some of these add a vertical line or a vertical line with a dot to create a new vowel. Something like, if this one is written with this one joined, you get this vowel. So the same rule goes for each of these. I'll give you a detailed description of each vowel in a video describing the composition of the complete letters later on. Next, I will explain the consonants. 5 consonants were first made according to the shapes of the part where the sound of the consonant comes out from in our mouth. The shapes are simplified like this way. They can be the soft palate, the tongue, the mouth, the teeth, the throat, respectively. And King Sejong added strokes upon the original ones to make new consonants. The short stroke above does not matter whether the direction is horizontal or vertical. In the case of this one, you can write it by connecting the point where the second stroke begins meets the last part of the first stroke. As for this one, the circle does not have to be attached to the stroke above. Also, for only 5 of these, new consonants are created by adding the same consonants to the consonants as twins. This combination only looks like one line between the consonants since the lines are so close, and in fact, there are 2 lines. Some Korean people tend to write it in one line this way. And actually, each of the consonants has a name. You can check it out in the following video. How do you feel about the Hangul creation process? Isn't it fascinating and interesting? Koreans also say this process is scientific and unbelievable. So I hope you to get yourself ready to learn how to write each consonant and vowel in order, how to make the exact sounds, and how to combine consonants and vowels. I made this video for those who are just getting interested in Korean. I'll see you in the next video. 감사합니다.